Hey folks, welcome back to JD Gaming and Design. Today I will be going over some spoils with you. Rough showing of a seed cycle competition pack. I might go through the second one too, just to see if there's any difference in them. Little rule book. I will quickly go over, just show you snippets of it. And two already opened booster packs of the 8 I did have. I saved 6 for some future shenanigans I plan on doing. So each competition deck comes with its own piece of paper rule book, pretty much. It pretty much goes over what's on your card, the resources, description of the resources. I pulled that better for you. The faction card, what the front looks like, what the back looks like. Each deck you build around a faction. Faction has an influence number. The influence number is basically your life. Once your opponent depletes your influence to 0, you lose the game. 75 card deck. It also tells you how to play your cards, how to use abilities. There's characters, items, tactics, and locations. And then on the back of your rulebook is a bunch of keywords to keep out for. If you have any questions during your game, they tell you to look at the back of the paper to tell you exactly what you need to do. So I'll quickly fan out this deck here. Your resources, you have staple resources. 6 factions. You have elitism, deception, rage, greed, and obsession. The starter decks have all 6 factions inside. Let's take a look at this character real quick. You have a threshold and a cost, and then sometimes they have abilities. This one has covert. You pay 3. And this card gains 2 life. Let's quickly see if I can find it without making too much of a hassle. Threshold. Okay. Threshold. A card's threshold consists of resource icons in the upper left corner, just below the cost. It represents the resource icons you must control in order to play the card. A card's cost number appears in the upper right corner. It represents the number of resources needed to play. So, for example, this card, you're going to at least need 1 obsession present in your resource pool, and then basically 3 altogether to play this card. Another one we'll do is repurpose. You need 2 elitisms at least controlled, and you're going to have to pay 4 to play them. This is a tactic. It's a one-time thing. For magic people, it's a sorcery or instant. Cost, pick an item. Effect, destroy the item and draw a card. Flip up. You can use any of your cards as a resource, and some will have this flip up ability. And it's a cost to play the card from your resource pool. And this one costs 2. And you got to have your 2 threshold elitism things, of course, to play it. So we've seen a little bit of cards here. Let's see what the other deck has to offer, if not the same thing. This is what they call a dead CCG, because it's no longer in print anymore. And yes, these are 2 completely different decks. I mean, there might be, some cards that are the same, but for the most part, there's a good chance that you're going to get different cards in the deck. Character. item. This is an item you attach it to a character. The attached character gains 1 strength and 2 life. For a whole bunch of elitism resources, the attached character gains an additional 2 strength and 1 life. So that's pretty interesting. So yes, the decks are different. So that's a fun thing to know. Each of these seed decks has, I think, 5 or 6 faction cards you can choose from, depending on what kind of play style you want. I believe without reading the actual rules itself, it doesn't really say anywhere of how many factions you must include in your deck. So I'm guessing 1 or 2 factions is enough instead of 6, because that's just a lot to take care of. If anyone knows, just leave a comment in the comment section so we know what's going on for future reference. Here's the booster pack. We got a Warlord tactic. I love the drawing pictures. And then we got one with full color. Looks like an art book come to life. And this one, you just need 3 in your resource area, and you just pay nothing. And nice thing about these are, I probably can't read that, but it says not for sale. Open beta boosters. And it says right up top, beta art. My camera is horrible on this phone. All this stuff is beta art, so that's pretty neat. And yes, at the bottom it does tell you if they're common, uncommon, and rares. Common, 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 common. Oh, rare. I don't know if you can read that or not. But yes, they actually have rarities on these. And card numbers. Second booster. This one's a very quick video. Really don't need to get in depth right away. I hope to in the future. And then we got some more artwork. You may play this card anytime you can play a tactic. If you do destroy a card named Deception, you control or destroy this card. Deception. Ooh. So we have to destroy a resource if we play it as a tactic. Very interesting. So definitely we'll have to look further into these cards before trying to attempt to build my own deck. When this card enters play, flip a coin. If you win, X is 3, otherwise X is 2. Put the top X cards of your opponent's deck into their discard pile. So we got some mill going on here for you Magic folks. That is pretty interesting. So there's a brief showing of the spoils. Well, we'll see. Show the back of the cards. Almost looks like a deck of playing cards. I didn't get to show you the backs of the faction cards except for in the rule book. So each one depicts a different spot in the world. That looks like a heart, which is pretty cool. So they have their own backings for the factions and the resources. And I'll just show you a couple resources. Obsession and Violence. It's a Warlord resource. They have the regular, like, poker style backings. Oh, hey, this one's miscut. Did not realize that, because you can't really tell from the front. But when you flip it over, it is miscut. I wonder if that's a common occurrence in this game. That's also another thing you guys can comment if anyone comments on this. So there's a brief showing of my spoils. If I get more in the future, I might do a pack video and open a couple more boosters for you. Other than that, have a good night.